Well, you see, Capcom, they are in quite a bit of a situation right now, not a good one. You see, there is a series that they have called Monster Hunter. There are about 1 million games in this series. But you'll see at the very bottom there, the most recent one, Monster Hunter Wilds. This is a game that just came out actually in February, about 5 months ago, and this is what we are looking at. Kind of examining this harsh pushback of it, and, well, you see, this is actually kind of an examination not just of Monster Hunter Wilds, but in general of how video games are criticized today, because you see this whole criticism recently came under fire, basically calling out not just Monster Hunter fans, but gamers in general for being like way too harsh when they criticize a game when it doesn't live up to their standards. So kind of to bring you up to speed, yeah, as I said, this game was not received very well when it came out, and still is not to this day. I haven't played it or any Monster Hunter games, but from what I understand, it's just very buggy. It's not the game that was promised before it came out. It is certainly not living up to expectations. Now, since then, there has definitely been quite a bit of harsh criticism against Capcom for this game that many are saying just was not ready to be released. And actually, just 2 weeks ago, there was this situation that I made a video on where some of the team behind Monster Hunter, they were going to do like this presentation at this like gaming convention type thing, and they actually canceled it due to what they were saying was threats and harassment. Not good stuff, that's for sure. Now, in that video, I embarrassed myself by showing how much I really don't know Monster Hunter. I thought that it was a turn-based RPG like Pokemon. I don't know, I guess the name just kind of made me think that it was like a monster collector turn-based RPG, but I was quickly reminded by a couple people, very kindly I will say, that that is just not the case. So fair enough. I have got quite a lot to learn about the Monster Hunter series, but what I do know about the series is that, yeah, as I said, it's come under fire quite a bit recently, just with this last game. But the stuff I talked about 2 weeks ago, you know, those threats and harassment, I mean, that sounds really serious, and it is. Well, you see, this was actually just called out by a very big game analyst. This is Hideki Yasuda, and he had an interview just recently with a very big Japanese news source. This is called the Sankei Shimbun, and I will link this article in the description. But this was interesting to me because he spoke not just about Monster Hunter Wilds and that controversy, but like I said, what this says overall about the gamers and just kind of how they criticize things today. So he says, it has long been the case that some fans will make abusive remarks when they are not satisfied with a game. In recent years, as companies have begun to use creators as poster boys, individuals have become targets. Now, yes, on one hand, this could be because the internet normalizes this sort of thing, but it also could be because the internet makes the identities of these people more known, but maybe more specifically, you've got platforms like just social media in general that allow people to have a voice and, well, voice their criticism when these things occur, and obviously a lot of people don't voice their criticism very well. So it says, until now, online slander has been overlooked, not just in the gaming industry. However, with the spread of smartphones, the internet has come into contact with many people, and the same morals are now expected of the internet as in public places. But Yasuda believes that, quote, when it comes to games, the changes in user awareness may not have kept up. Now, this was translated just by my browser. Now, Automaton, they wrote an article on this, and for them, the translation read that Yasuda said, quote, gamers' moral conduct has not kept up with the times. So that kind of begs the question, is he sorta right? Is he totally right? I do think it is pretty unfair to just point this at gamers. I think overall, as I said, social media is just giving more people a voice, not just gamers, but everybody. You get people like, for example, who are super into politics, who just let things go crazy, and they'll make threats and other kind of things toward people that they disagree with just politically. My point being, I definitely don't think it's just gamers. I don't think there's this sort of toxic culture among gamers where the vast majority of gamers think it's appropriate and okay to threaten a game developer when things don't go their way. I think, as with all things like this is the vocal minority. They stick out, you know, their comments definitely gain attention, and unfortunately, some people do genuinely think that they represent the vast majority of gamers, but they don't. The vast majority of gamers have the ability and do criticize game developers without threatening their well-being. But do things need to change? Yeah, maybe. be. I mean, maybe this vocal minority, maybe they need to be stopped or, held legally responsible if that is necessary. But it's definitely more than just a problem for gamers.